It's about that time. Jam, if you're ready, kick it off, please, with some SPX gamma landscape analysis.
Yes, yes. Let's get started. Good morning. We can talk about the overnight movement and the gamma positioning for today. We actually did test as low as 74.35 in the evening last night on SPX, which was right around Friday's lows, which held and then rallied back up right into the same range we were in yesterday. So another day where we start the early RTH session after an overnight trend move to the upside. So the key is, does this hold, and are we able to clear 7,500 today? So, if you get this overnight move up and then it's weak in RTH and fades back to the lows, that's what we saw yesterday. That's not a very good sign of strength. And as long as we're below 7,500, that's the place that we failed last week, which we've been unable to reclaim. So from the technical side, if as long as you're below 7,500, you are more bearish. And if you were to reclaim that, then shorts would be off sides, and you could see some short covering move higher. We're trading right around 74.75 at the moment. And as far as gamma positioning goes, the two places to watch today are 74.80 and 7,500. As long as you're below those two areas, then you could kind of have a bias to the downside. And really, you need to clear 7,500 to see a larger kind of short covering rally to the upside. The overnight lows will be important, 74.35 if we get down there. And if we fail the overnight lows and Friday's lows, then we could see another move lower. And the other thing I'll say about gamma today is that it's extremely thin. It's very light, which means that you could see kind of larger swings, potentially two-way trading. A little bit more volatile moves than yesterday, and especially thin below 74.80. Really, there's not a whole lot between 74.80 and 74.15 at the moment. So potential to see a little bit cleaner moves in that, which we'll see after the open. That'll be the main thing. Holding below 74.80, failing, below that range early in the session, I think could see a move lower to start. But it's very light, it's very thin, and that 7,500 is the main pivot for the upside.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you so much. All right, Ty, you're up.
Good morning. Main focus, first thing I don't really like a whole lot still in the market, but AMD gapping up, Marvell gapping up, along with others in the sector. The thing I like about AMD is we kind of saw this larger failed breakdown or kind of stick save below 500 and reclaimed. The pop got sold, the gap got sold yesterday, but now we're gapping right back up to yesterday's highs. So this is a bit of a kicking pattern, which just basically means if you open up right at that prior day high and see a first move up and defend it, you can catch some really nice momentum higher. And there's really not a whole lot of resistance until you start to get to the 540s, 546, at least from what I have here. So pretty simple. We're just basing right at that prior day high right now on the gap up. Volume's dissipating a little bit, but it's defending and validating that prior day high on multiple tests. RSI is reset enough. If we see a first move up, break through that pre-market high, this looks pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So outside of that, not loving a whole lot else. I do think that that two-way trading in the market, J Money just covered, could be a way to simplify some day trading today as we anticipate some of the bigger earnings that are on deck tomorrow.
Mhm. All right, cool. Thank you. All right, a couple of other stocks that we're watching. It's been best to just be very nimble throughout the day. So although we have a watch list, I've been very open to pivoting depending on what happens. So, and we'll start with Microsoft as first on our list. A good example of that intraday, we pivoted to Microsoft trading. We traded 400 calls yesterday. We closed above 400. It was a really nice move to the upside. Pretty mechanical, actually. There was a headline, positive headline, and what I'm looking for today would be a day two continuation. The first area of resistance here would be 400, 401. 401 is the 50-day moving average, just below where we topped at yesterday. So yesterday we attempted to break above the 50-day. We saw a couple points higher and then we failed. But with the market kind of diving into the end of the day, Microsoft held up really nicely and it's holding up okay here. It's slightly red. So what I'm watching with Microsoft today would be a pop off the open, recovery of the 50-day around 400, 401, and then a test of yesterday's high. So only if we break above yesterday's highs could we get that day two continuation move, potentially towards 406, 410. So Microsoft, let's see if it has any more juice in it. Good headline yesterday. It's relevant, so we might get a day two out of it. Meta is the next name, and this one has done very little over the last two days, and pre-market kind of within the last 2 day range. We are basically battling the 200-day at 640 and the 9-day at 650 area. So we're kind of pinched in between, and every attempt to break above that 650 has faded, and we're right there right now in the pre-market. So I'm curious to see if the overall market catches a bit of a bid. We can break the previous 2 day highs, and then there's a nice little gap above towards that 660 that I'm aiming for a gap fill on. Kind of indecisive candles on the daily, I would say. You can see that they're the bears and the bulls are fighting to hold up. Yeah, we'll see. I think this one could be one of the first ones to push higher if the market pushes above 7,500 and QQQ remains bid up. Tesla. If you zoom out, Matei, on the daily, even on the weekly, if you want, what I'm looking for here would be a failed breakdown of this very important area in the chart, which is around that 368.60. And so that was the low on June 26. We saw a huge recovery off that level. And so for today, what I would be looking for would be a bit of a push below, maybe all the way down to 364, 365, then recovery of 368. That could set up a day or two to the upside. Actually, might clear some sellers. We might catch a few stops, and then we might find some new buyers down there. It's a harder trade. Conceptually, though, it makes sense to me, so I'm watching it. PANW. So it's a software name. It's the stronger software name out there. It's a nice inside day. Really nice kind of double top on the daily here. So if we break below 350, 348.66, this could see a bit of a push lower. DDOG, a software name as well. This one is consolidating really nicely, and I think this is well worth adding a few alerts above around 268, 270 area. It's a huge cup and handle on the daily, very defined range that Matej just drew here or has on this chart, the green rectangle. So every attempt to the upside have failed, and we've tagged the bottom a couple times. So this is just, very, very textbook area, range bound action, not bearish at all. And so my guess would be that we could attempt to break out of it soon. Maybe one more dip, maybe one more failed breakdown of that lower area of that green candle for a little bit more fuel to the upside. But I really like this one. DDOG above 271 would be something to watch. Another one would be maybe a dip below 248, recovery of 250, maybe a couple weeks out call. Spot held up really nicely yesterday, and it is sitting in a little bit of a range here. Spot is a trickier stock as of late. It's been in a very heavy down trend line, but since I would say February, March, it's been in a bit of a consolidation pattern. You can draw a triangle on the daily, and you'll see that price has been confined within. There's a nice little trend line above we are watching, which also coincides with that 500 break above. 500 break out of this, you know, larger term triangle, near term balance area. So that we're in over the last few weeks. This could see a nice little push. I think the Friday candle was really, really important. You can see that we moved lower and then recovered that range. So very textbook here. So let's see if it has enough buyers to push higher. And lastly here, well, I think you can also play, well, Tesla downside play here. So we already talked about Tesla, like the upside play, which would be a failed breakdown of that 368. But if 368 fails and you know things kind of lining up there, you, as I said, you might see a nice little push towards 364, maybe even 360. So 360 puts could be a nice little downside play below 368. This would be a textbook continuation pattern below yesterday's very kind of big downside day. So if you're trading that, just keep in mind that if the buyers step in, that could be a failed breakdown. So if you're short, you want to be a little cautious there, but there's still a downside continuation move there to look for. That's all I got. Up next is Sarang. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Um, I'm watching couple of names today, so if you could open the SMH chart. So on a daily time frame, SMH actually the 580 area is very big, so we held, uh, yeah, exactly. That's the area we held, a couple of times. So I think before breakout also we rejected that area. So we are just opening exactly around that 580 area. So what I feel is, so this is the area we did break down. So either we could see a rejection here around 580 area and move lower, or maybe we could move higher here if we reclaim this area. So so this is the important pivot I'm watching today. So if SMH can give, so major strength is there only in the semiconductor and memory names. So let's see how we react around this area. So based on this one, I would like to trade TSM. So if SMH is above 580, then I would like to trade the TSM. Actually, TSM had a good earning. So on the day one, we had a nice move to 415, and then day two we capped down. So what I'm watching is this 420, 421 area on the TSM is the defined level. So if we see a base around below that, and then we reclaim, then I'm watching to play some calls on TSM. We had a nice pre-market structure as well, but I think it's slightly below the key level. If we break 418, then probably we could see a 421 or higher on the TSM. Uh, that's what I'm watching. And the second stock I'm watching is Boeing. I don't find any news on the Boeing, but Boeing had a big red day yesterday, and this area I like it, 208, 209 area on the daily, which is held nicely so far. So what I'm watching is break below this yesterday's low, below 209. I am looking to play 207.5 call on this one, targeting maybe 205 and 203 around that. See how we set up. Uh, then NBIS actually had a news today. So NBIS, I think NVIDIA has declared a stake in NBIS. So this 195 to, I think 200 is a psychological level around this one. So let's see how we react on around this area, 195 to 200 area. So that's a big level, 197 to 200 area. So I'm watching some intraday pattern on NBIS. So the stock is showing the strength. So I'm trying to watch from last 2 days, but couldn't find the entry on it. So it was showing a nice strength from last two days. So yeah, so those are the names I'm watching. And apart from that, I'll watch the index also. QQQ, I think the 707 area is the defined one yesterday's high. So if we reclaim it, I think we could see a move to 713 to 715 above yesterday's high. So we are just pacing below 707. So let's see if the market is in play. We can watch the QQQ as well. Yeah, that's all from mine.
Yeah, QQQ looks good. I really like it. SMH is looking strong, so I'll be curious to see how QQQ holds up if SMH starts giving back some profit. But really nice there. So we'll watch and see. All right, we have about 10 minutes to go here. Any names you guys want us to take a look at? Let's take a look at memory. SNDK. SNDK, nice little gap up back to 1500. I think above 1500 could see about 100, 150 point higher. Not terrible. Some good news out of that, I think. Space. MU's also up, obviously, WDC and some of the other ones. They all pretty much move together. Micron had an upgrade or was included in the Bank of America list, so it's liking that. MU's is interesting. I would only buy a dip in that. And in terms of the intraday, the pattern market here, it's a nice little bounce. It's kind of sitting near the highs. If you get any dip towards that 915, maybe even 912, that's a good kind of must hold area for a turn on. But break up to 925.26 PM high. You might get that nice move towards the 50-day moving average at 940 above. So yeah, MU is interesting. LRCX, yeah, nice, trading near PM high here, really nicely. Yesterday's attempt to turn got just smashed. Obviously, there's a nice little bid in semis today, so it's back to where it was yesterday. Let's see if it holds yesterday's highs. ANET. This one has been, I've been watching this just in a wider range. There's nothing really bearish about this. I think it's just needs time to resolve. The sell a few days ago wasn't great looking, but it's holding where it needs to. And what I would look for here would be a break above 177, 180 for that all-time high break. Triple M had earnings, right? It's up nicely. So Triple M, not a name that I trade often. I have though after earnings. If the setup is there, it's a nice bull flag. It's trading PM here. This could be a nice little open, maybe open drive play to look for. Must hold for me would be 167.50. It's a pretty big gap up, so maybe give it a little time to settle those premiums. This pretty sharp resistance at 170. But if you zoom out to the monthly, you can see that it's a nice pattern. It's a nice, I'm not gonna call it bull flag, but nice little dip that has been bought up around that 140. So Triple M looks good. Something to watch maybe. All right, so I think yeah, that's about it. Let's get ourselves ready for the open here. Getting myself in order here. Just make sure I have all the relevant charts up before the open. In terms of favorites before the open, I really don't have any. I do like the Microsoft. Knowing Microsoft, it might actually pop at the open and might fail at some point. I don't know. We'll see. Keep an open mind. VIX is down here. USO, we haven't talked about USO, but USO is a bit up today. So it's going to be important to kind of track that throughout the day and ensure that it does pull back. There's still headlines. It's still like the fear of escalation, although it has been escalated in the last 2 weeks. The question is like, how much does the market care? Oil obviously cares. The correlation between USO and the overall market is that what it was, a couple months ago. Oracle, let's take a look at Oracle. Somebody's requesting that. Yeah, I mean, stay away from Oracle. I would say this could technically be a good spot to start acquiring Oracle long term if you believe in it. It is back to April 2025 lows. It's way off the highs. I'd rather buy it here than what people did above 300. So what I would say is that this 120, 118 area is hugely important. If it keeps pushing, I would need a hold of that 106, 105 area, which was the all-time high from 2021. I think that would be a really good area to look for a bounce at least. So Oracle's a harder trade. It's a bit of a head and shoulders on the daily and the higher time frames. You zoom out. So it's right at the neckline. Give me a second here, guys. Mate, anything? Have you changed your mind at all since we started talking in terms of like anything interesting off the open?
Yeah, just gonna stick with AMD here.
Okay.
Looking to trade the 540 calls.
Let's take a look at PLTR. If you can clear the seller around that 137 zone, this one could push. They keep selling into it.
Meta pop.
Full drop. Big
NVIDIA too.
Hmm. All right, so Meta's relevant here now. It was earlier, but now it's a little more. Let's see if this is something to trade. I'm looking for a headline. I don't see any. Air raid sirens in Kuwait, Bahrain. Just kind of reading off headlines that I'm just seeing. Yeah, so Apple, this 322 to 323, we called this out yesterday as being a very important area in the chart. It's the 9-day moving average. So best to hold. If it starts breaking lower, I would just watch that 317, 318. Right, ES is popping here. Something is going on, not really sure what. NVIDIA nicely higher. I don't see a headline, so I'm just assuming this is just mechanics before the open. All right, we're open, guys. Let's take a look here. See what, yeah, Meta just pulling back here. Back testing that PM high it just broke out of. SPX 7490. Yeah, so really strong here. AMD, nice little open.
Yeah, they got filled AMD 540s here. You can't hold the pop, then we'll look to get out.
Tesla PM high test here. Microsoft selling off. MU, very nice open drive through PM high. SNDK popped above PM high and failing here a little bit.
PNW triggering one of your setups from last night, Mate, or Space Monkey setups from the watch list.
Yeah, nice. 345. Pretty low ball.
Yeah, I'd say a little trickier with now earnings this week, tomorrow.
Microsoft trying to sweep pre-market structure here.
Meta red to green. Sorry, green to red. So, 530 is the 20-day moving average on AMD, Mate. 530.23.
Yesterday, pre-market higher on AMD and plus yesterday's +1 approaching.
Yeah, tested the 20-day moving average 75.26 and reading since. Another fail around that 7490 area. So really nice sweep there. Nice call it. All right, so SPX 74.74 is the 20-day moving average. SNDK back to the lows here. Popped above PM high and fail. MU is slightly strong. Yeah, I was gonna get to triple M here, breaking PM high actually. Just saw the alert. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, IWM some relative strength here, I guess, off the open. Although QQQ is up more today, it's been pulling lower since the open. Yeah, Microsoft, nice hammer bar here, right near 400. You could probably scalp that 400 break, Microsoft after that dip. Really nice turn.
Hood, coin, very strong days today so far. Coin back to the 50-day.
Real nice push here, Tesla.
And Microsoft shares really good.
On. Huh?
just underneath that 496 prior day high. Pretty spready looking, but not a bad setup.
All right, the SPX small support here at 70. It's pretty thin below there. Could continue to fade. It's got to get back above 85 and then 7,500 for upside.
And this nice push. So I'm trying to put credit spread here on S&P against that 70 area. We'll use a stop on that one. AMD premium is holding up nicely. It's a little slow, but it's holding. So we'll see if it can pop to 540.
Got I'm long here, 7,500 calls. If you break the low a day, which is the 50 day, I'm out.
I want to see AMD make a new high day here. Premium's held really nicely through that whole consolidation. New high day, AMD. No real hesitation on that.
Real nice move, Andy. The bearish delta is subsiding as we're selling into this 50 day here. So buyers are trying to buy into this weakness. See if they succeed. I'm trading against the lows here, so we'll see what happens. Another hold there. It's exactly the 50 day, so Really choppy price action here. Microsoft coming back 400. As Microsoft is one to watch upside mover.
Yeah, it's going to be very choppy inside of this kind of 7460 to 7500. We're in negative gamma, and there's just a ton of short nodes in here. So really, you need above 85 for a cleaner move to the upside. As long as you're below 85 and below 75, the best support is at 40 for a cleaner bounce. Otherwise, it could kind of bounce back and forth inside of this and be pretty choppy.
Mhm. Tesla likely seeing 380, 383 maybe if we can push above. I just took half off over here, around 50%. Apple really nice back here. That's your Tesla 380 test, guys, if you took it. Nice relative strength there. Yesterday's terrible day, like this could rip towards the highs of yesterday. All out, rest. Just kind of preserving it. It's a little choppy for me. Up the rest near break even or entry price.
Pushing the 7,500s here on SPX. If we can pop through that 80, 85.
Apple pushing.
AMD held back Tesla 522.
I think this one is setting up for a push to high day, maybe 7,500.
Maybe filled 7,500s here.
Okay.
Risking low there. 85 is a stronger figure, but I agree. I think I like the way Apple's pushing AMD held. See if they can break through it.
Nice like risk reward play here as well. Like if you want to stop.
Yeah. Premiums on the 7500s are holding up pretty good. I'm seeing a bid in AMD and Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Inc strong.
IWM, nice. NVIDIA, if we could start turning here.
This premiums popped on 7500s really fast there.
Nice, yeah.
Need to flip through this 85. Nice push here, S&P. Think we can grind towards 75.20 today. We can hold above 85.
Just took some Microsoft here, 405.
Getting Phillips and S&P at 640. Quarter. Hey guys, I'm having issues with my broker, so I'm gonna be on mute. I'll alert what I do.
That's good. Yeah, really nice turn. Matei caught that beautifully. I took Microsoft, took some off. Let's see if the market keeps pushing here. Microsoft has a pretty good shot at pushing towards yesterday's highs plus. Um, yeah, Tesla I called that at 380, potentially yesterday's highs, and we're getting that really nice move here. It's harder to trade, obviously, because of earnings tomorrow, but definitely is interesting to see how it's moving after yesterday's ugly move. You might have some shorts covering, you might have some speculation, I guess, but in the same range in general, pretty tricky to trade. Let's see if we can get to around 403 yesterday's highs. Microsoft. Overall, market is looking good. This is exactly what I was looking for in my 7,500. I just didn't trade it well. Matei did really well with it, so well done. His entry was interesting. It was the back test of the 20 days, a higher low intraday. And you're seeing this real nice push to the upside here. There, we also called out Apple. pushing higher. Really fantastic. Broke that 325 nicely. Testing now. Could move really nicely higher after holding that 9-day moving average, which we discussed yesterday could be a really nice bounce area. And we got that. Got a little dip below, recover, 323.50, and then off we went. Yeah, D Wood, well done, sir. I think, sir. Maybe ma'am. Maybe dog. Maybe cat. Yeah, the Mate's entry was interesting because, as I said, it was a